Hey, welcome to Taylor's Trick Taking Table. I'm Taylor, in black and white, and I got one word for you today: bears. That's right, the game we're covering today is all about bears. It's called Trick Taking in Black and White. It's by Tsutomu Kijima, and the hook is all the cards have both a number with a white bear and a number on a black bear. And when you lead to the trick, players will declare whether it's leading black or leading white. And then everyone has to play the same color because all the cards can follow suit. The goal is you're trying to win equal number of tricks led white and equal number of tricks led black. If you're balanced at the end, you get positive points. If you're not, you get negative points. Let's go to the table and I'll show you some bears. How to play. The deck in Trick Taking Black and White is made up of two suits, black and white. And the numbers are 1 through 36. But as you can see, for every number in black, the opposite number is in white. So for the 1 in black, they have the 36 on white, and as you can see, vice versa over here, and it comes all the way down to be swapped perfectly in the middle here at 19 and 18. Here we have a game set up for 3 players. So you shuffle the 36 cards and deal them out equally at the player counts. So at 3, each player is going to get 12 cards, and they're going to get 2 of these cards that are used to keep track of scoring. First player is left to dealer, let's say it's Panda Bear. In Trick Taking in Black and White, as you can see, your cards are both black and white suits, depending on how you play them. So when you lead to the trick, you declare whether you're playing black or white, and then you'll play a number. So maybe Panda Bear here says, I'm playing a white 8. So coming to the Double Bear here, that means they have to play white. You have to follow suit. And since you can follow suit with every card, because they're multi-use cards, they look through their whites, and maybe they don't want to win the trick, so they play this 7 white. Finally, coming to Pompoko here, they play the white 13 and they've won the trick. So they'll collect this trick, and what we've done is just put your white collected tricks on one side of your scorecard and the black on the other. So you can go left or right, or maybe you can go white collected tricks on top and black on bottom. Why that's important if you want a white and black trick is because of the scoring, but let's just go to another example of the trick taking. So now maybe Pompoko leads with a 17, so Panda follows suit with a 33, and then finally the Double Bear will win it with the highest black in the trick, so then they'll collect the trick and put it on their black side, and then they'll lead to the next trick. Fast forwarding to the end here, as you can see, all the tricks have gone out. So the goal was to balance the number of white tricks and black tricks you got, because in the scoring, if you're ever not balanced, you get minus points for the number of tricks you won. So for example over here, Panda Bear got 3 black and no white, so that's minus 3 points. They'll flip their scorecard and come down to 3. Over here, Pompoko won 5 tricks, and they were close to balancing, but they were off by 1, so they got minus 5 points. They'll flip theirs and go down to minus 5. And then the Double Bear here, they perfectly got 2 white and 2 black tricks. Since they did so, they'll get positive points for the total number of tricks. So that's positive 4 points. Then you would just shuffle the cards, play again. The next player to the left is dealer, and he'd play the number of rounds for the number of players. And whoever has the most points at the end wins. At 2-player, things are a little bit different. First off, there's actually cards cut out, so each player only gets 11 cards. And after the 11 tricks, whoever wins is the person with the lowest amount of difference. So for example, if the Double Bear won 2 white and 1 black, but Panda over here won 3 black and only 1 white, their difference would be 2, whereas Double Bear's difference would only be 1, so Double Bear would win. And you can play like best of 3 or just one hand or whatever. It's pretty loose, but that is the 2-player variant. So that is Trick Taking in Black and White. And I love this game. There's something to be said about a simple trick-taking game where some of the concepts can be amazing for beginners. The fact that every suit has black and white means you're always in suit, but having that kind of rule to explain where, to be in suit, you would just have to flip the card. And it gives players a really good idea of how to plan. Since the deck, it's perfect information. The 36, unless you're going to use it as a 1, you're going to take a chip in that color. And the very nice thing about the scoring is it has this perfect push where you always want more chips, because they're worth more points. But as you get higher and higher, you're risking being off by 1 and just getting so many negative points. So when you see that 36 in a certain color, you don't really see it as a 1. You do see it as a 36, and you really want that to be your guaranteed chip. And I love planning around that, because if you go from 36 being like, okay, that's a guaranteed chip, And then what do you do with 33? You're like, that's probably a pretty good chance of a chip. And then you slowly whittle yourself down. So I love the planning in this game where you're like, okay, maybe a 27. Will I get a chip from that? And it's like when you play it, how you play it. I love at the start, you get a lot of tentative plays. Some people don't want to jump into the chip game right away. And you get like, you might win a trick with like a 19 or something. And it's funny how after, like a few tricks, people start getting set in their ways of which color they want. One of the more fun moments in this game is when someone has, after like the first 2 tricks, 2 black chips. And so they start leading white. And so someone else might win that white. And then they'll win another white. And so now you have already these 2 people wanting to lead different colored chips than each other. So then the third person or the fourth people, the other people, they're trying to wonder like, do I win this trick and get in on the black? So then I start trying to lead white. And it's almost like a weird taking sides moment in this game that the flow of the lead just becomes so important. That person who took 2 white, they're leading black. And the person who actually wants it to be, leading white now, do they try to win a trick when it's black and get a third black trick just to get their control to then lead white? It's a really interesting kind of decision point in this game is if you're already 2 or 3 chips down in a certain color, do you take a third or a fourth just to get lead and try to kind of rebalance that kind of hole you dug yourself? What insanely charming art. It's funny to have bears and kind of like, cutesy bears, but then really only use the backs of them. They're facing away from you the whole time. And the backs of the cards don't really have bears. It's just this open forest with just a random stump in the middle of this grass. I love that sometimes trick takers can just take a theme, bears and black and white maybe, and just be like, yeah, that's the theme, and who cares? What were they going for? Especially when you look at the cover, it's 2 bears at dinner, with a drink or with wine, and then you expect maybe like a dinner bear party thing, and it's just they're in a field just sitting with their backs to you. Totally bizarre, but I love it. What I've noticed is super funny in a 3-player game is one player will win a bunch of black chips, the other player will win a bunch of white chips, and that third player is just trying to like balance it out. They usually will end the game with 0. And it's funny how these scores in these games can go from pretty high, like 12 or something, all the way to like -12, because players might just want to mess each other over rather than balance out in some kind of equal distribution game. I love that you can get so much game out of such a small package. I'm not someone who sleeves their games often, especially if the card quality is pretty good, like in this. So I don't mind not being able to fit these in sleeves and in the box. If you do, it's kind of probably going to be a bit of a tough squeeze. But there's so much to be said about having such a small kind of granola bar size package. I love that this game can go both ways. I've seen people go for big amount of chips and try to get 4 points or 6 points or whatever, and then make it so the other people just don't get many chips. But I've also seen it to where some people just play avoidance and they try to mess over people and give them a ton of chips and just make sure that they have odd ones, or always lead black, just lead black, lead black, lead black, and have whoever is winning or whoever wants control just have to eat a lot of the chips they don't want. The 2 players a little bit weird. I probably wouldn't recommend this game at all at 2, but 3 and 4 is really fun. There's a cool kind of different feeling, but still interesting. At 4, you're probably not going to get more than 4 chips, so you have to be pretty sure if you're going for 4 that you're going to be able to swing it. At 3, there's more bouncing back and forth, and I do kind of like the weird king-makiness of someone going all black and someone going all white. So I love when a game can have similar feels as a whole, but still be distinct at different player counts. So that is trick taking in black and white, and it's almost Knizia levels of just super clever and super simple. And I love different types of play and seeing how different people approach the game. It's always fun when a trick taker brings out a person's play style in kind of an organic way. So I think this totally gets the seal. And thanks so much for watching.